Hey, all you tuggers and tuggettes. Remember when we said we had something special for you this season? Well, here it is. We are really excited to announce that support for These Unprecedented Gays is brought to you by Manscaped, providing the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
And I'm about to pick it up, girl, because, Paul, you know Manscaped Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. You can join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you.
For me?
For you! 20% off and free, guess what? Worldwide shipping, because we are what? Global. So you're going to use the code TUGAYS, and that's TUGAYS at manscaped.com.
6 million men. Now, if my math is correct, that's like 12 million balls.
That's a lot of balls.
That's a lot of balls.
We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy. Oh, I did feel like Beyonce kind of like counted down in front of us. I was like, hey.
Have you seen the Snuggie video of the guy that does the countdown on YouTube?
No.
It's this like young guy and he has Snuggies, and it's the countdown video where he like replicates what she does in the video, but he's only in Snuggies.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
It's like, I think it's like 15 years old.
Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know when the song came out, but it's fine.
Okay. Well, everybody look at that and remember that I'm Paul.
Oh, and I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
It is who we are. We've always been this way.
How was your week, Joe?
I am recovering post-op.
What did you have done? Tell
Don't
everyone.
you want to know? Well, Shanita Gumgraft is who I was.
Oh, that reminds me. I came up with a good drag queen name for you. It's Perry Odontal.
Oh my! I knew a Perry.
See?
But he was a man.
She was a man.
No, so I had to go. Well, first on this past week at work, we actually did a charity event where we did the. We went and volunteered at the food bank in San Diego.
Oh, nice.
And honestly, like,
I love that.
Yeah, I was actually really excited because it's like, I think it really helps ground you, and also it was like giving back to the community. And we basically bagged oranges and
I do that
plums.
too.
But we did 5,000 pounds of food.
But it's weird because you got to pick out like different sizes, and it's like
and you have to throw so much away.
Yeah.
So I felt bad because it was like they had a compost bin, which was cool and everything, but like the plums, they were not good.
Right.
So I was like picking up a plum for every like good plum. There was like 3 bad plums. And I really wanted there to be like a bad apple. Like I really wanted to pick up apples and be like, oh guys, this is a bad apple. And we didn't have apples. But then I was like really hungry, and so they didn't have any food, and I was like, would it be bad if I had like a plum or an orange?
Yes, it would.
And so I didn't. But then the rest of the week I had to go and get a gum graft. I don't know if I've talked about it, but I have receding gums. It comes with age. And so I went in, and it was only like an hour-long procedure.
Okay.
And now my face is swollen, and I'm on painkillers. Hooray.
Oh, yay.
And how are you?
I'm fine.
That's,
basically.
You ain't got nothing to talk about?
I got nothing to talk about. But I am fucking Yaldi today because we have a guest in the studio virtually because we are international.
We are worldwide.
We are worldwide, yes.
Yes.
So we have Connor here from Scotland. How are you, Connor?
Hiya, how are you?
I know. I'm like, hopefully he knows what Yaldi means.
Wait, what
we looked up some Scottish slang.
Isn't Yaldi a grocery store?
That's Aldi.
Oh. But maybe Yaldi is Southern Aldi.
So as people can tell, my accent is not going to be Scottish, unfortunately. I am an American living in Scotland, but this is the best they can get. Oh. So I'm
You mean you don't have an accent by living there? You don't assume the accent immediately?
I tried and I fucked it up. If I do it one more time, they're deporting me. They've threatened. But I can do a little like, oh, sorry, as soon as I bump into somebody, so they don't realize it really quickly. So that's my coping mechanism.
I just do my fat bastard impression. Hopefully he's Scottish. I don't know if he's Scottish or Irish.
Do it.
Hopefully he's Scottish. Like, get in my belly.
See, that's what I did. And they said they're going to beat me up, so I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
But I feel like Scottish is really bad where you got a lot of it's guttural.
That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. I've heard some drunks at the, the bar.
Thank you.
They sound just like that.
We really want to apologize to all of our Scottish listeners who might be...
So let me tell you why.
Trigger warnings.
So there was a girl at Walgreens, an elderly woman. Her name was Miss Faye, and she had she dyed her hair red, but it was like the fake red. And I loved her because every time you'd check out, she'd be like, "Hello, love."
Actually,
she's like, "I can help you over here, love."
There's actually a lot of them with the fake dyed red hair here. I think it's actually a bit of a trend. I've noticed that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's fashion.
So maybe it's actually maybe we just really think it's fake, but it's real over there.
It was not. I mean, it was like Kool-Aid red.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can actually say in some kind of Scottish accent is like, "You fucking freak me out," and that's as good as I get. That's my go-to every time.
What does that mean?
Like, you fucking freak me out. Like, it's like you give me the fear.
Oh, yeah, we need a translator for Paul.
I was like, what did he say?
That was my first 3 years
You
here.
are fucking freaking me out. Okay. There we go. I got you.
So we're going to get into the interview and talk about you, Connor, here, but we want to get into our segment, the one that we love to do, and it's called Mouth to Mouth. Mouth to Mouth Resuscitation. And so, Connor, this is your first time on our show, so this is our segment where we talk about what's giving us life. It's just everything we live for, all that. It gives everything. So I guess I'll start.
She's giving.
So the things I'm living for right now is Hold Me Closer came out by Britney and Elton John.
I saw that.
And I'm loving this journey Elton John is on right now because he's taking doing mashups of songs that he used to do. Like he did Cold Heart with Dua Lipa. And that's a mashup of Sacrifice and Rocket Man.
Wait, of Dua Lipa?
No, Sacrifice from it's an 80 songs of Elton John's along with Rocket Man. So he's been doing these mashups.
Oh.
And Hold Me Closer is a mashup of The One from the 90s and Tiny Dancer. And I'm loving this journey he's on. It's like this club journey.
I thought, I didn't know that because I thought Dua Lipa had a part that she brought into the song, and same thing with Britney. So it's just Elton John's match.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
He needs some money, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But hey, you bringing Britney back.
Yes,
it's Britney, bitch.
It was good.
It's good.
I liked it.
And the other thing I'm obsessed with is Max from Drag Race Down Under. He's the bald guy with the beard. He's in the pit crew. And he's an award-winning producer, director, and writer in New Zealand. But I'm like, good for you, because he looks like he is having so much fun being predominantly naked on Drag Race.
I haven't watched Down Under yet. Should I?
You should.
Okay.
It's good.
For him?
For him,
not
mostly.
For the queen. Is he cute?
He is very cute.
Max Down Under. When you said you were living for Max, I was like, my dog?
Yes, you. I love your dog. Well, I do love your dog.
He's okay.
What are you obsessed with right now?
So I don't have much, but yesterday when I couldn't eat anything, I went to that guy. He is cute.
Not Sean, but Max. The
yeah.
guy.
Well, they're both cute.
He's a daddy.
Well, and I think what I like about the pit crew with them is that, they're not all just the same.
Yeah, they're not all the same body type. Yeah.
Well, and what was the one with the first? What was the first pit crew where they were more representative, where they had a thicker boys? Which was the season?
I think it was
Was
Italy.
it UK or Canada? Oh, it might have been Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So for my what's giving me life is I went to Lazy Acres to get some food, and I got pumpkin cake.
Oh, it's that time of year.
Well, it's not.
Oh.
I was about to be like, what time of year is it?
I think they started bringing it full year round, but so a pumpkin cake.
Oh, wow.
With a cream cheese frosting.
What about you, Connor? What are you living for? What's giving you life? What's giving you breath?
I don't know if it's giving me life, but it's taken up a lot of my attention. Right now, I'm trying to develop a communal garden that can travel. So for gypsy travelers, their community travels with them. So I'm trying to establish with other charities and build these little pallets that you board up the bottoms and the sides, and you fill it with dirt, and you put the seeds in there. But the pallets are movable, and they can hook together. And so these people that don't really have much connection to the community they're in because they're traveling so much can now start to bring their own community, and they can start to solve a lot of the food problems and because they're mostly living on places that are uninhabitable. So now they can grow gardens and stuff. So it's taken up a lot of time. And I'm really obsessed with it right
my
now.
goodness.
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Is it just like moving pallets that you then put like dirt in and then they can take them with them wherever they go?
So if you board off the bottom of it and you drill little holes to filter out the water, the top of the pallets actually kind of show exactly where to plant things in a line. And then if I put hooks and on the side of them, you can hook them together like building blocks, and then you can build an entire garden for people so they can grow their own food and take it with them, and just have a little bit of their community that travels with them.
Well, and that probably wouldn't, not only for community travel, but like urban gardening.
I was just thinking, like how can I do that in front of my apartment? Because I don't have real estate, and I'd love to not pay for food.
All right, so Connor, we're having you on because you are you have a lot of things about you, and I thought this was really cool. If most people would know you by the time they see you from, especially in the UK, you were on Naked Attraction.
That I was, yeah. The quickest way to dick pic all your friends.
And then you are also on OnlyFans, and you are big on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Oh, come on, don't be humble. You have quite a few followers on Twitter.
He's prolific.
You see some of these creators in the millions, and you're just like, oh, wait, I'm still a nobody.
No, even if you think you're nobody, you're somebody to us.
I'm gonna get that tattoo.
But you also, there you go.
Don't do that. No.
But you're also big into social work and trying to do charities and stuff because you have a sanctuary coming up. You just talked about this one thing you're working on, but you're also big on mental health and helping with sex work and stuff. Right?
Yo, yeah. Sorry.
So let's get into it.
I'm here for it, baby.
So let's get into it. So you moved from the U.S. to Scotland. So why don't you give everybody your story, their background?
Yeah, so I moved here in about 2016, 2017 to go to university. My grand plan was to go for veterinary medicine, but I was getting my undergraduate in biology first. In Scotland and in the UK, you can actually go to a 5-year course starting from right when you get out of your hires to graduating to become a veterinarian. I did not know that. I thought you still had to do an undergraduate. So I was doing my undergraduate in biology, and then I started working for a nonprofit my third year. And I became the vice chairman of that charity. Unfortunately, there was some moral issues and I had to resign, but I was like, I love doing this. So I've started, crowdfunding for my own animal sanctuary, and we actually just got charitable status a couple months ago. So I'm very proud.
That's awesome. So now, the charity is called, is it Comraish?
It's Clonric. Clonric, it's Scottish Gaelic for sanctuary. So I'm not very creative.
I was like, I don't know how to say this.
It's okay, we got a translator.
Okay, good. So now so the animal sanctuary, are you planning on a lot of different animals that are native to Scotland?
So our main interest right now is helping out animals hurt by the agricultural system that would otherwise be discarded or just put down, to kind of help out with animals that we interact in with our day-to-day lives through our food system, to kind of educate people on this is, these animals, this is their behaviors, their, whole ass beans, which is something I'm really passionate about doing. But we'll also be helping with any animals that we have the capacity to take. So right now we're looking at how to foster bunnies, how to work with a lot of shelters for elderly dogs that have been in the shelter a little long to kind of give them day retreats. We have a lot of really great ideas, and we'll see which actually come to tuition. Okay, and then do you guys have land already? So we are in the midst of doing the heads of terms to sign a lease with an estate agent in the Fife area. That is very complicated. I'm not very good at writing leases, but I'm trying my best. We've been talking to them for the last year. Should be about 15 acres on the coastline between the coast and the forest. So it should work out really nicely. If it works out, they might just be a little bit of dickheads and pull out. I don't know. They're Tories. We'll see.
Wait, is Scotland along the coast? There's a coast in Scotland?
Oh, yeah.
We're by the water?
I think we're a wee island or some shit.
we're not geographically inclined. We don't know.
Isn't Scotland by England or something? I don't know.
Do not publish this in Scotland.
Let's pull up. Oh yeah! Wow, there's a lot. Oh wow, there's a lot of water by that.
Just a wee bit.
Oh wow.
When actually last time I was home, I was renting a car while I was there, and I was like, I live in Scotland. They're like, oh, where in Ireland is that? And I was like, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh my God.
You're just going to live like this.
So now, besides the schooling, what made you pick Scotland?
So when you do your, I was in the military, and the military gives you something called the GI Bill, which you can use for 4 years of education anywhere in the world. Not a lot of people know that. It doesn't have to be in the United States. So I was one of those. I didn't know it. Yeah, to do a undergraduate program, it has to be in your spoken language, and I barely speak English, so it was either England, Australia, or Scotland, and Scotland kind of calls to me.
Oh, nice.
You just wanted to wear a kilt, right?
I've yet to do that. I'm afraid they'd kick me out.
Why?
I don't know.
Isn't it like normalized?
It is.
Or no?
It's not a closed practice, so you can do it, but I'm afraid to do it poorly and then kind of like embarrass myself in the country I want to be my home.
Well, and then you don't really have to worry about like your kilt flying up your skirt. I'm so sorry.
See, that's why I'm not done it. There's so many things you can do. You're not supposed to wear underwear underneath it, and I don't want to hand out invoices everywhere I go, you know?
Well, I mean, you could just get some of the Manscaped crop-preserving ball protection, and you wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Speaking of, today's sponsor.
Oh, am I a window? Because you see right through me.
Hashtag ad at the end of this now.
So, Joe, since we started our partnership with Manscaped, have you used any of the products?
I have, and my confidence is through the roof. I want to show everyone my downstairs. You don't?
I try to show people my downstairs all the time, but they're like, no, I don't want to look at it.
Well, you do your caftan on Sundays, and I don't, so I'm ready to reveal.
Well, and I think that's a good thing because, like, I can now like get the breeze instead of it getting caught in my bush.
I know. Who knew you could be so much more aerodynamic without hair? You're aerodynamic.
So, where have you used the Lawnmower 4.0?
In my apartment.
In your shower?
Everywhere.
Because you can.
I've used it. I've used it in the shower. I've used it out of the shower. I've used it in the car.
On yourself?
Why not? I will say, not the lawnmower, but I've used the weed whacker in the car because it's sometimes you need a little touch up.
Well, they're both hands free, so I mean cord free.
I was like, what? So, listeners, they aren't hands free, but they are cord free. I was like, I used my hands, Paul. Well, you know what? Okay. If you're listeners, if you're feeling adventurous, use your feet. But I will say that I do love the bag that comes with it, the travel bag.
Well, if you want all of these benefits too, you go to manscaped.com, use code TUGAYS, TUGAYS, and get 20% off every purchase and free worldwide shipping.
Yeah, go online, get that discount code, and show the world you're downstairs. Oh, you know what it's about.
He knows how this works.
Oh my God.
No one ever works with me because I am a sex worker. I have a social media following, but companies don't work with me. So you let them know I show my pelvic area all the time. I need something.
I'm surprised by that. I feel like that's a good kind of pivot. Do you get like, I don't want to say looked past or whatever for the content that you create?
Yeah. So one of the
wow.
best stories is I was at TwitchCon, because I used to do Twitch, and I was talking to a company, and they're like, "This is our affiliate program." I had no interest in doing it because I'm kind of past the whole being an affiliate at this point. But they said, "This is the engagement you need on Twitter and this platform, this platform." I'm like, "Okay, I have quadruple what you're looking for." But I was like, "But I'm a sex worker. Will you work with me?" And their flat answer was, "No, we won't. Most companies won't." I was like, "Makes sense."
Wow.
But now, have you tried reaching out to places like Manscaped or Gun Oil, like lube, kind of? So
sex toys and stuff like that, or anything that is involved in sex, will usually be a little bit more cooperative. But the kind of material they want you to put out isn't something I want to put out on social media for free. I don't do any like fully nude on Twitter. So any sex toys or things like that, like to show the product itself, which is a little bit hard when you have those kind of like boundaries for yourself.
Okay, wow. So what are your boundaries within being a sex worker that you've set for yourself that you kind of stick by? Like, in the content that you create and what you're going to put out there and stuff?
So I don't do anything that I don't feel comfortable with. The best thing about being on OnlyFans and online sex work in general is that you do have control over the content you make. So it is purely based on what you're comfortable with. I do not feel comfortable putting my whole dick and balls on Twitter. So I don't, because I have friends in real life that follow me there. And I don't want them to have to endure that again. They already got it on the TV. They don't need it on the internet.
Again.
Yeah.
We get enough of that in real life.
But I'm always very open with, the people who subscribe with what they get when they subscribe. It's the first two things listed in my bio, and I often communicate with them like what my mental health needs are, what my content creation patterns are like when I'm not feeling great in my body and I can't look at myself naked. Like it's always it's a constant communication, like any good relationship is.
Can you talk about so you're very proud to be a sex worker.
Okay.
I appreciate that because I think that's awesome because you want to destigmatize that as much as possible. Yeah. So can you talk about how you got into that and why you got into it?
Yeah, of course. So like I said, I was working for another charity before I started this whole thing. And when I became the vice chairman, I realized that their financial situation was shite. They were misusing funds. They were burning through money and they were not getting anything in. And the ideas they were having were really bad. They're like, we'll auction off a basket of goodies. I'm like, this is not in the modern day age of how you raise money. Mm-hmm. So I had a moral obligation for these animals and for my position as vice chairman. And I did not see anything wrong with nudity, the body. I think the human body, if does what it's meant to do. And, it's a blessing in itself. It's a privilege. So I didn't have a moral obligation against sex work or being nude online. So it was actually going against my morals not to do it because that means I was skipping out on my obligations just because some stigma. So yeah, I did that. And then with my first month, I raised the money they're missing. And then after that, I put them in a green positive. And then before I left the money. And then I was like, okay, goodbye. And then I realized I had this funding platform and I could chase whatever I wanted to. I was unchained from capitalism. I now could achieve the dreams that I wanted to. So I started doing that.
Okay. So you talked about the mental health part of it with the sex work. How do you deal with that? How do you make sure that you can stay? We're going deep. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about an OnlyFans.
He never has sex.
He's a virgin.
Yeah, that's what everyone will tell you, and they're fucking liars. I swear. So when it comes to mental health and content creation of any sort, you cannot be in a bad headspace and create something that feels genuine to you. You can't even consume social media when you're in a bad headspace because you now have this urge to create, this demand to create. So you will mirror whatever you take in and then reflect out. So if you're in a negative space, you can't filter out the bad and then give who you are. So you do have to be very aware of your own mental health because if not, you will crash and burn very quickly. So I'm actually in the middle of a social media cleanse right now to where I've not touched social media for the last couple of days because I'm not in a good space right now. And because a lot of my content's calling out misogyny or sexism or homophobia or transphobia, I deal with a lot of homophobia, transphobia, sexism, misogyny coming in. And so if I don't watch out for my own space, I will reflect in some sense that negativity out as well. So it's a tango, baby, and sometimes I can't dance.
Well, so kind of piggybacking off of that, how do you I'm sure that you get kind of pushback and riffraff from people. How do you, I guess, kind of I don't want to say deal with that, but how do you kind of persevere through that? And then also, do you let it get to you?
Oh yeah, 100% gets to me. You can't keep eating shit and not feel shit. But at some point, you do have to kind of justify in your head, look, if this is the opinion of someone like this, usually, and I'm not trying to generalize, it's usually straight males, male identifying people, and sometimes I'm just like, look, you don't even know how to wash your own legs yet. You can't really join this conversation. So it makes it a little bit of the othering in your head, but sometimes you do have to do that to keep pushing forward. That's kind of my justification of it. Like maybe once you learn to wash your ass, then we can have this like conversation face to face. But
oh my god, stop.
It's bad.
well, and have you had, I guess, with like friends and family, like have they been supportive with your work, or any kind of like pushback from them?
Yeah, I'm very lucky that my mom is a very supportive human. She worked for most of my childhood,
Nice.
so we didn't really have the best connection. But when I left for the military and then, entered our relationship again as an adult to see her as a whole human, and she saw me as a whole human, when I told her, she's like, I knew one of my sons was going to do it, and it was going to be you. I was like, yeah, I was going to be the porn star.
Mother's intuition,
They
right?
just know.
How funny.
So how do you deal with the stigma that you get as a sex worker, and talk about a little bit of your work of destigmatizing that in what you do?
Yeah, so for what it is, I carry a lot of privileges with me. As a straight passing, white dude with a beard, I get less so than others. My colleagues who are feminine presenting, they get so much hate for just breathing and existing, yet all I seem to get is hype and support and love. Even when I have a controversial video that gets millions of views, 98% of it is love and support. Yet they produce any content and it's usually very fucked. They get fucked over. So I'm not faced with a lot of the stigma that is in the industry, but it does happen from time to time. And I really think the best way to destigmatize something is to, one, realize that a lot of the stigma comes from sexism and religious rigor, and it doesn't need to be like that nowadays. We are holding on to these old traditions of controlling and domination and like what we want to make people rather than just accepting for what they are. Like sex work is no longer the idea of that person on the street doing full service in-person sex work. It's now the person in your math class. It's the content creator that you see. It's your boy Konzo. It's all of us. You're either a sex worker or a sex volunteer. That's my entire philosophy on it.
And now there's a bill in Scotland going to be passed, something like what we have here in the U.S., trying to limit what can be put on what can be
social
posted
media
on the internet or something.
Wait,
Yeah.
they're doing that?
So
Yeah.
right
In
now,
America?
it's been done for a long time, and right now I believe the bill is in the reporting stage of it all. So it's the online safety bill, which does kind of mirror Sesta Fosta. I always say that incorrectly. What it does is it uses the guise of protecting children and exploited people to limit the exposure of sex workers. But when you limit sex workers that's a hard word. Being seen by the world, you take away their entire livelihood. So it's a backwards way of just getting rid of sex work. But sex work has been around forever, so it won't go away.
So it's basically like, hey, if you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. But what that does is it drives people into the back alleys of sex work where they can be exploited more easily, where they can be hurt more easily.
Yep.
Another way this is shown in the world is through the Nordic model, and I fight against the Nordic model every fucking chance that I get, because there is no statistic evidence that it's actually helped anyone when it comes to the exploitation of it all, because all labor is exploitative, but they seem to think of every sex worker as someone who is exploited. But what it has done is it's increased violence against sex workers by 90% in countries that reported this, and it's also increased violent crimes by 92%. And as a sex worker, if you know that you are discriminated against and there's laws against you, you will not go seek help.
Yeah.
So they continue to be victimized.
Man, wow.
And they tend to also have higher suicide rates when these kind of things happen, because people, their livelihood is taken away from them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are catching on in a very negative way. People who are making these, who mostly pushed by religious groups, as we've seen in the taking down of OnlyFans online payment method for that few days. They're usually pushed by trying to say that they're helping people who are exploited or sex trafficked. But here's the thing: not all sex workers are sex trafficked. Just not like every worker is exploited precisely. And if you're looking to save victims of this, there's other places to go, mostly the church, if you want to save people who have been sexually harmed.
Have you
Speak.
sorry. Do you have any, have you dealt with this personally? Like anything specifically, having difficulty with posting or anything like that? Do you have a specific example?
Yeah, actually, when I was applying for charitable status for my charitable organization, they did find one of my social media accounts, which led them to finding out what I do. And then they came back to me saying that I needed to safeguard the charity against me, the chairperson, at being a sex worker. And my only reply to that is that to safeguard means to protect against harm, and we do not see sex work as inherently harmful, and our reputation will not be hindered by our association with sex work. In fact, it would be the other way around. Like, we would be hurt more if we're discriminating people for their work. Could you imagine if you walked in and be like, oh, you're a construction worker? Nah, not going to fly today, pal.
Were you able to get or not get it overturned, but like get whatever you needed out of that after that?
I had to tone down my first message because I went full on fucking at him. But after a few more reads, I realized that, when you work with these systems and they have the power, you need to adhere to their power. They are asking two major questions, and I've answered those two major questions, but also informing them that this is a form of discrimination against someone who pays their taxes, is employed legally, and if the only thing holding this back is this stigma or this individual bias. So what's the reason, pal? Like, what are you doing?
Opinion. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Okay, so I want to go back to OnlyFans because I'm very interested about this.
I know I should never sent you that link.
Are you a subscriber?
I'm sorry about my balls. I don't know why they look like that. They're doing their thing.
Paul just did a trial 7 days just to see.
So, first off, I need to ask, like, how do you identify, if I could ask that, if it's not offensive? Like,
in what way?
As bi?
Oh, okay.
Like, sexually.
That's actually a question that I get so often, and I found my answer to it, which is, like, I am who I am, and I like who I like when I like them. And this has, in many times, has transcended gender or sexuality or even if they identify themselves. So what I found is I was struggling going from someone who thought they were straight their entire life because that was the default sexuality I was around. That's what everyone adhered to. And as someone who is, like I said earlier, trigger warning about this for sexual abuse, someone who was sexually abused as a child, this wasn't something I had anymore. It wasn't something that was in my control. I was not someone to be, but someone to be taken from. And that's how I grew up being. And then once I started to understand the idea of what sexuality is through OnlyFans and my interaction with the community, I realized, like, no, I'm not just some cool straight dude who likes to kiss guys. Like, no, I'm what I am. But I also realized, like, I've not grown up, identifying as queer, and so I didn't feel like I belonged in the queer communities. I felt like I was taking up space and even making people maybe feel uncomfortable with me being around because of how I'm perceived. I very much just look like a straight dude. So rather than trying to go through this idea of identity crisis, am I this? What are my subconscious ideas of what this means? Oh, am I this? Am I this? I just am, whatever that may be. I accept it for myself and I explore those thoughts and ideas.
Okay. You want to take everything out of that candy jar. That's what you want to do.
Very greedy. Thank you very much, sir.
I'll take a Jolly Rancher. I'll take a Mike and Ike. I'll take a other thing, a Laffy Taffy. Ooh, a Werther's Original. Oh. That's how you know it's good.
You get old style on me.
I know. It's like, does he want a granny?
He is what he is, and he likes what he likes.
My first question for you about OnlyFans is: do you plan on having a Dobby OnlyFans? Because I saw your Dobby mask.
Dobby has made it. Dobby has made an appearance in my OnlyFans many times.
Wait. Dobby from Harry Potter?
Yes, he has a mask.
Oh my god!
I was like,
okay, do you have a sock? Do you have a sock?
There was a sock involved, yes.
Yes.
So I like to, when I create content, it's just whatever I feel like. Sometimes it's sexy, here's me, winky winky. And here's other times of me doing like a video with music and like doing stupid dances. And sometimes I helicopter my dick around the house. It is what it is. Whenever I feel like posting it.
Naturally.
It's I think OnlyFans is a way to express myself. And I think I'm a very diverse person.
I have a good one for you. It's Dobby does doggy.
Dobby does.
Like, so you do, Dobby gets it doggy style. You know what
so
I'm saying?
So I can finally lose my virginity. Yeah.
So you haven't done that yet.
Well, Dobby has it.
Conzo?
Ooh, here's the thing about sex. It's hard. It's hard to get.
Yeah, it is.
I've recently started speaking to. I've spoken to a couple guys, and it gets really sexual really quick. And I'm a very awkward person, so I'd like to have a conversation with people. And I'm like, I don't want to see your butthole pic in the first 3 messages. Thank you very much. But I'm also
then don't go on Grindr.
I did. That was my mistake.
Yeah.
So that's that. And I feel like when it comes to being an online creator, as soon as someone figures out that you're interested in people who present masculine, they're like, oh, so you must like all of us then. I'm like, no, just very specific few people here and there. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. I'm getting closer to that. I've started working with some men this year, and I have a few more men that I'm working with as well, but I've not gone that far as to have a full-blown sex tape.
Okay.
Oh, so no Kanye, Kim, or is it Kim and Kanye?
Kim and Kanye, or
no, Kim and Ray J. That's who it was.
Oh, Kim and Ray J. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see Kanye.
No, I mean with the Dobby sock, you could come in the sock and sell it.
I've done that a few times, and every time I do, I always sell a note that comes with this and be like, by accepting this package, you do hereby say you're not going to frame me for a crime. I'm covering my ass.
Oh. Really? People have asked you to do that? What are some of the other crazy requests you've gotten from OnlyFans or other guys or stuff?
Well, when I first started, I was taking requests because I was desperate to help these animals and stuff like that. But now that I have more time to save, I don't do requests anymore because some of them I'm unable to do. They're like, okay, I want you to jerk off in front of a mirror while showing your butthole and also sucking your toe and then do a flip. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm not here to kiss.
Say Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, you can't do that. What do you mean?
I am not limber, but I'm not here to kink shame. But I did get kink concerned, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But I think some of them were, the basic of okay, come on this underwear, then sell it to me after wearing it for 3 days. I did one of those, and I was like, I'm happy to do that. But because I was on antidepressants as a child, and I do tell people all the time this, I struggle to finish. I can keep going, but I just can't stop. I don't always have the material to post like that. So thanks, brain, but it is what it is, and you got to be open and honest. You won't always get this.
I like that. I'm not kink shamed. I'm kink concerned.
We need to have a kink talk.
I like that.
No.
I'm going to start using that.
I should have coined it.
So how? There you go.
Get that tattooed.
TM.
Get that tattooed on your arm.
Trademark. I call it trademark.
Don't worry, it's fine. You'll get royalties, 10%.
So, how did you get started on OnlyFans? What made you decide to do that? And how does that work? How much of that goes back to the creators and the content makers?
Yeah, so like I said, I first started because I was the vice chairman of that charity, and I had to raise that money for those animals real quick, and then I just kind of continued. So the way that it works is that OnlyFans takes 20%, and it is in dollars.
Oh, damn.
So if I have a £5 sale or a half off sale, out of that, $6, I make close to $4. That gets translated to £3, and out of that £3 I get taxed on, so I make about £2 maybe, if we're lucky.
That's not good.
Yeah, but you do that a bunch of times and it really adds up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Some months are better than others, but I've always been able to pay the charity's bills, which is all I really want. So yeah, that's how it works. I always say that it's a subscription-based website to where you can pay for more, and some people sell extra stuff, and it's like Instagram where you can unlock certain things.
Okay.
Do you
new levels?
Right.
Do you take any of this the money for yourself, or is it 100% for the charity?
Yeah, when I first started, it was 100% for the charity because I was still getting my GI Bill, so I was able to pay my living expenses. And then I think it was about almost a year ago that I started paying myself because I was like, look, I can't do a job plus the charity plus all this. And it's fair enough that I pay myself a reasonable wage. I make less than the national minimum, which is all I need to really survive. I'm not over here flying on first class or anything like that. I'll take the train. Actually, no, I can't. The train's too expensive now. I will take the EasyJet.
Inflation.
Cost of living in it.
See, it's not just in America, everybody. It's in Scotland, which is in water.
We're actually having a really hard time with our electricity bills. Our price of electricity has skyrocketed close to 100+%, and it's here to raise some more as well. It's called our cost of living crisis. So my energy bills right now are close to 300, to the point to where it's going to be mass strike from the populace to where we don't plan to pay our bills after October because we can't. It's either we go in debt now and make a point, or we go in debt from having to pay you. We're going in debt either way. So if something doesn't change, there's going to be mass unrest in the UK.
Oh, I'm guessing solar's not an option.
Actually, most of Scotland's energy is renewable, but it's our trains are going on strike, our bin men are going on strike now, our lawyers are going on strike, the hospital workers are about to go on strike because the Tory Conservative government has underfunded the UK for so long, trying to privatize these systems that they have broken. And rather than just being able to sneak in a privatized because we're not being paid more, everyone's just fucking striking. So it's going to be mass civil unrest here soon, and I am ready for it.
Oh,
I got
all about chaos.
The unraveling.
I tell you, if I had the money to fly home these last couple of months, there's some protests I really wanted to be at, but unfortunately, they kept me poor.
So, going back to OnlyFans, is there content that you see that people respond to more when you post it? Like, is it you using a toy on yourself? Is it you jerking off, like you said, in front of a mirror? Is
sucking his toe, doing a backflip?
Right,
that's the winner.
I mean,
yeah, most viewed.
No, I'm really lucky that my people who subscribe to me usually do so because they have a general interest in me or like care about me through my other platforms. So honestly, whatever I produce, they will hype up. They'll pretend like they love. I know they're just lying to me, but I'll take it anyway. So sometimes, I notice that some posts do better than others. But they never put pressure on me, which is something I absolutely love from them. And it makes me want to give them better quality and charge them less. So I'll never sell anything unless I'm working with someone else. So all my content goes straight to the page because I think they deserve it. They've been so kind to me. And it's just, I don't know, I couldn't ask for better people.
And have you ever gotten anything from like your subscribers, like a big gift or something like that? Somebody posted on Instagram, and I saw this like post, and it was like, "Oh, one of my subs just gave me a Tesla," and I'm like, wow. No, they didn't.
No, I would not allow any of them to spend their hard-earned money on me more so. I've been asked, like, do you want anything? And I'm like, I want you to buy yourself something nice and, like, fucking have some fun with it. You deserve this as well. I'm doing okay. Don't worry about me. I'll manage. But one of my someone who started off as a subscriber and someone I would consider a really good friend has, sent over Amazon gift cards so I can buy a backpack for Hoden so I can bring him to the vet more easily, which is really nice. My friend John, one time, I was on Twitch and I was doing it. He's like, check your OF. I was like, okay. He sent me 100 pounds. I was like, you son of a bitch. What are you doing? No, just little things like that just shows that they care. And I love them for it.
I would take a Tesla.
I would too.
So any listeners out there, if you'd like to donate a Tesla, you know where to find us.
We'll definitely take a Tesla from a sub.
Apparently,
or a sub from a sub.
They'll suck their toes and jerk off for you. Like, that's one of them.
I mean, shoot.
Like I said,
there's a way. So
you're a sex worker or a sex volunteer. Choose.
I get that money, honey. Okay.
I mean, get a guy that can do both, right?
Right, exactly.
I am sex unemployed.
Okay. So for me, I want to talk about this because Andy and I are huge fans of Naked Attraction.
Thank you. I was going to go
And
there.
We have introduced our friends to Naked Attraction.
I am one of them.
The episode, we didn't know this, was your episode that you were on.
Yeah.
So I love this because we're like, oh, God, he is hot. Okay. That guy is fine.
It was very cold,
eyes.
and I was very nervous. Saying that right now.
Oh God! Well, we have questions, so I'm glad you're here.
So like, did you get scouted for this, or did you apply?
I got tricked into it. Actually, I was swindled. What happens? They posted in my university's Facebook group page, which is like, we have Overheard at Edinburgh University or something like that. We had one from my university as well. So I was like, oh, this must be. They said like, oh, does anyone want to try a new brave dating show? I thought this was a master's program, as they sometimes do these things. So I was like, hey, yeah, I'm single. I'll do it. Blah, blah, blah. They get my number. They call me. We have this amazing conversation. They're like, oh, my God, we love you. We want you on the show, please. And I was like, yeah, wait, show? This isn't a thing for uni? So they're like, no, have you ever heard of Naked Attraction? I said, no. And then a few months later, I was naked in front of the entire country. Weird that. I could have said no at any time, but I was like, live an interesting life. Fuck it. Why not?
And then how did you feel about like the whole concept of Naked Attraction? Since you had never heard of it before, like, meeting people based on going from feet up. I mean, I'm surprised some of these people on Naked Attraction aren't on WikiFeet. Like, I'm just saying.
Luckily, I think
But how did
the U.S. hasn't found out about Naked Attraction yet, so stop telling people.
Oh, we have. It's sweeping the nation for us.
or at least our friend group.
Just the
All
5
four
of you.
of
You
us.
just keep rubbing in my face that you have friends. I'm jealous. So yeah, I was raised to very much not body shame at all. So it was an interesting thing to eliminate people based on their body and body alone. So I think at some point you can kind of see that I'm struggling, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not vibing with those knees. Like I'm clearly uncomfortable. But you know, I did my best to make sure that no one felt rejected, that everyone knew that like you are beautiful in your own sense. It's just I have to make a choice between 5 people based on this criteria, and you know, I'm also very picky, so who knows.
So with that, can you just explain, because you were on the show, so you probably better explain it better than we can, what Naked Attraction is for our listeners?
Yeah, so Naked Attraction is a dating show to where they bring one person in, they do a little bit of backstory, something that makes them unique or whatever, and they bring them in front of either 5 or 6 tubes, and those tubes have naked people in them, and every round those tubes go up to reveal a new body part. So the first one is vagina, second one is boobs, other than that is face, and then it's voice, and then, you know, before you know it, you're down to the 2 left, and then those 2 you pick out of those 2, and if they pick you back, you go on a date. Unfortunately, it's very much pre-planned, to where they want you to say key things. They want you to bring up key topics. Every show
like behind the curtain.
I think everyone assumes now that.
So you're telling me that the show isn't real?
I'm saying that everyone was paid actors. Yeah, even me.
Well, you're outside of your non-disclosure agreement time, and your contract's been ended for a while, so you can disclose whatever you want.
Here's the thing:
hopefully.
I can't fucking read, so whatever they made me sign gets thrown out automatically.
There you go.
No, but there were key things they wanted me to do. At one point, they wanted me to say "yeehaw." I was like, "Why, bitch?" And then I realized it's because I'm in the opening credits going "yeehaw."
Oh God!
They wanted me to talk about pegging, and they edited it in a way that made it sound worse than it is. So that whole story is. They asked, what are my sexual kinks? At that point, I'm still trying to figure out myself and whatnot. So I'm like, I don't really have a sexual kink. I usually just like what my partner likes. I absorb that. And then I go into the story saying, at one point I was dating someone who's really interested in pegging, you know, because that's what they want to do. That's what something I was willing to do. My next sentence was, we never got around to it. Guess what they cut?
Of course.
Yeah.
And like,
blame it on the edit.
That became like a
edit.
huge thing.
Oh yeah, that was your whole persona. Was I mean, it's not Penny Lane, it's Peggy Lane. You know what I mean?
I became the poster boy for pegging, and I've never even been pegged. So it was very awkward.
And
it also,
see here, we thought you were pegging her day.
that's what they want you to think. The fucking corporate media, I tell you. No, but it was interesting because it allowed me to take on things that I was not doing and kind of take that on myself and fight back against it, which was the homophobia, which was the toxic masculinity, saying that men must do this. And I was just like, bro, if you don't want to explore your butt, don't explore your butt, but don't take it out on me. Like, what are you doing? And it kind of led the way towards who I am today, I guess.
And then how did that help change how you could work with like the charities and stuff like that? Because like you got a lot of
big
like,
platform, right?
Yeah, it's a big platform. You're written up on a lot of different websites. Courtney Act tweeted about your episode and everything. I thought that was really cool. Like, how did that help with did that help with your OnlyFans and working with the charity and stuff like that?
Not so much help with the OnlyFans. I got a little bit of a boost that month, but it wasn't something crazy. And I don't think I gained like more than 200 followers on social media from that night. Like, it's not something crazy. But sometimes I'll have a repeat and I'll get like 10 followers within an hour. I'm like, what's going on? Am I naked on TV again? Which is nice. But it's not affected me in working with other charities because there's so much media to consume out there that it's hard to pinpoint. I can sometimes see people like, where do I know you from? But that's about it. And it hasn't stopped us yet, which is good because I don't want to be the face of the charity. I want the charity to speak for itself. And so I can't overshadow it. So it's been nice.
Yeah.
And are you still in contact? Are you still friends with Bianca?
Oh, I love Bianca. She is. Yeah, I still am. And I support her business from time to time. She does this. Oh, I'm going to plug if you don't mind. She is an amazing photographer.
Go right ahead.
And she is just so energetic and passionate about what she does and like body positivity and like just trying to be a bubbly, bright person. I chose her because I saw her smile. I mean, this looks like a really kind person. And God damn, I was right. So yeah, please, let me get her social. I'll pull out. Can I plug her social media at the end?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
You can plug whatever you want.
And so Bianca is the girl that he chose on his episode of Naked Attraction to go on a date with, but they didn't work out. But they're still friends, so that's good.
Yeah, we had that conversation early on. So we only had about 2 weeks from the show to like the rerun thing. I live in Scotland. She lives all the way down in England. It was during the pandemic. We were not going to meet. And so they're like, oh, have you seen each other since? Like, how? No.
We have not.
Yeah.
She has not pegged me yet.
Yeah, so we were actually supposed to spend the time together after the show. But afterwards, I was like, we're not really going to go anywhere. I don't want to waste any more of your time. And I'm not going to have, these relations on false pretense. I can't fake future plan with anyone. So I was like, no, I'm not doing the thing. So we split ways. She also, has other responsibilities, and I wasn't going to fuck around with her time.
Yeah.
Did they want you to pick her, or was that your organic choice?
That was my choice. Yeah. As soon as I saw her face and her big smile, I was like, that's the one there. Plus, here's a little bit of insider knowledge of so the other person I was supposed to pick, they edited this part out. Thank God. When I came out and they're like, what do you think of Connor? And she's like, I usually like them bigger. I was like, oh, okay. Well, luckily the host.
The host?
No, not the host. The other girl that was standing there as well.
But,
oh no!
Did she mean like penis size or just in your build?
I think my build, but also inferring. I took it that, of course, fragile. I was fragile. So yeah, that was fun.
Well, how old were you when you were on the show?
I was like 27, 28 maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Not too long ago. It's not been out that long, I don't think. But yeah, so that was exciting. But it's also at that point I was like, okay, so I don't think you like me because I don't think anyone likes me.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, goodbye.
We like you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I'm trying to find this social media thing.
Well, and then while you're looking that up, I want to know. So, I mean, this is obviously another country, but do you think that like the UK, because this is it's on in the UK, right? And so, is it more progressive, like the audience members, or do you still deal with that like toxic masculinity and like the homophobia and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you still deal with it. We have our conservatives are less conservative, but I believe there is a lot more because there's more imperial ties. There is still a lot of the cringe culture is really bad. I believe, I believe there's a lot of homophobia and transphobia, especially racism.
Still, yeah.
Even though there are parts of England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland that are more diverse, they're not. There's parts that are less diverse as well, and I think nationalism is on the rise more so in England that we could see in Brexit, how people reacted to immigration. We know what those keywords mean, how they reacted to taking away human rights like it's okay. And it shows you their view of the world because there are groups of people, if they lose any more human rights, there's a chance to lose human lives. And they are losing human lives right now as well. And no matter where you go in the Western civilizations that we know of, there's problems like this.
Did you find her?
I did. Just for later on, so I can
okay.
Plug it. There you go.
But like you're into photography also, right? Like you
not really
do a lot of that.
Everything I do is with
a lot of it on your Instagram.
Yeah, it's all just done with my iPhone in my room, so it's not.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. Yeah. Hashtag shot on iPhone 13 Pro Max.
11. I have 11.
Oh. We don't want to plug Apple.
So, but like, who records? Do you record your own stuff for OnlyFans, or do you have a camera person who will do that for you, or how does that work?
I could not ask someone to see anything that I do because out of every good angle and good picture you see, there's 1,000 times of me just been like,
Oh my god!
Just really not.
He's got a tripod.
I have a tripod. I have multiple tripods. I have one for an iPad. I have one for my phone. I have another one.
Oh my god!
There's angles going on, and
I want to see this setup because you probably have to see like you have a tripod for your phone, and then you have to see what's on your phone, and then you probably have like a TV which is showing you that. So it's like. Oh my god!
I put my phone like this, and I use the front camera, the back camera, so it's better quality. And then I put a mirror behind it so I can see. Sometimes my video, you see me just go.
How funny!
And then, how many ring lights do you have?
I've moved past ring lights. I've transcended.
Excuse me.
So I have stage lighting. I have soft boxes. I have different colored lights and stuff like that. Like one of the.
She's leveled up.
Oh, she got a setup.
Yeah, this has like 20 different colors.
Come through, softbox.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Oh. So yeah, it's nice. When I first started, it was ring lights and natural light, but now I've invested more money into it as I've grown.
When you do your OnlyFans content, do you like have to get Hoden out of the room so he doesn't like walk in on the shot?
Every fucking time. If you watch any video, I have to overlay some of it with music because you just hear in the background. And I'm just like, oh my god, just give me a fucking second.
Do you have your own like? Do you have in your house or apartment or whatever? Do you have a designated space for the content?
Or is it just
room? No. Unfortunately, with the cost of living, I've had to, you can't afford to live on your own anymore.
Do you have roommates?
I run an Airbnb out of my spare room because I do like to have some time off.
Do they walk in on you sometimes?
No, I'm very quiet. I'm quiet like a mouse. So I just do it in my bedroom. I have a green screen that I pop up, and I can put a sheet over it for like gray or black or different backdrops. You make do. You try to find a way.
Have you ever had an Airbnb-er like want to collaborate with you on an OnlyFans?
I feel like you guys think I live a very much sexier life than I do. It's mostly elderly German couples. I'm fine with that.
Hey, you never know. You got those Werther's originals. You never know.
Yeah, I never tell them Hoden's real name because it's German for testicles. So I'm just like, his name is Chicken. But no, I do my own thing in my own privacy in my room, and that's all I can do.
But so how do you find collaborators for? Do you do a lot of collaborations?
I was going to ask. Yeah,
I've done a few collaborations, all with people that I consider good friends. I'm very much nervous. I'm a very anxious person. And I also have a lot of imposter syndrome when it comes to being in front of the camera. So I've worked with my friend Kai, I've worked with my friend Chance. I'm going to be working with Mr. Britton, Ethan, here soon, he actually does full-blown stuff. That's going to be my first time trying full-blown stuff. But I won't work with someone unless I can trust them to take into consideration the fact that I'm scared. Anytime I collaborate with people, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm game. But I'm really like, don't touch me.
Do you want, so by stuff, you mean sex, right? In terms of kind of your first time in interacting with that, are you comfortable? Are you going to put that out there on the internet, or are you going to do it in private first?
Definitely in private. It's been hard because it's something that I'm not used to, so I don't know how to interact in these situations. I believe that your first time is always nerve-wracking when you're young, but now imagine being a little bit older and you think that you should be more qualified or more experienced, and now you're not, and you don't know how to do these things. But I really think sex that you see online versus real life sex is never the same, and it's hard to capture the passion, the intimacy, the gentle caring that comes with in-person intimacy. So I don't think I could ever put a camera in that because there wouldn't be anything you want to see. That's very much of a passionate feel rather than a sexy flex at the mirror, kiss your bicep, American Psycho thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a lover. Are you a romancer?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, same.
So how do you come up with all of your content for all the different social media that you do? Because like I said, you are on TikTok, you are on Instagram, Twitter. You used to be on Twitch, but not anymore because I feel like that's a toxic masculine thing anyway, right? So you just get rid of that. But also, with all that content creating, how do you balance that with your mental health? Because like you said, you're taking
exhausting.
a social media cleanse right now. So I know it's a lot in one question, but
You can answer them all.
So when it comes to what you create, is sometimes you create, sometimes you don't, and the more pressure you put on yourself to create, the less genuine your content's going to feel. I think the reason that people like me is because I feel human to them. How I exist on the internet is how I exist in real life, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I forced myself to do anything. So when I take a social media break, I just don't post anything, and when I feel like posting, I post, and when I don't, I don't. I'm not worried about becoming famous, because I think when you become famous, you catch fire, and when you catch fire, you burn, like you are done. No one lasts.
That's a new tattoo. Trademark that. You got it.
No one lasts.
10%.
I am the soup of people. I want to simmer, baby. I'm here for the long run.
I like that.
BTB RTS.
Content is like a fart. If you force it, it's just shit.
Why do you have to ruin everything I said? What I said was so meaningful from the heart. You're like, shit yourself.
Yeah, basically.
But it's fine. You're just going to simmer. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Bring to boil, reduce to simmer. There you go.
I'm a boil in the gut.
So, Konzo, is there anything else you want people to know about your sanctuary, your charities before we wrap up?
For the sanctuary and charity is that it's difficult. I'm trying my best. Planning permission is expensive. Never not know what that is before you do anything. Also, just you have to exist in these systems with the people that have power. Don't take on every fight that you see. Sometimes to get what you need, you have to suck it up.
Okay. And then is the sanctuary able to crowdfund yet or no?
We actually...
Yeah, if we wanted to donate.
We actually just got our bank account, which is... Yeah, it took so long because we applied for a very special bank account that's run by a charity that does charity bank accounts, but I had to write so many policies and just prove to them that this money wasn't going out of the country. So we just got that, which means we can now start crowdfunding, but unfortunately I'm on a social media break, so I can't really push this out. So within the next couple of weeks when I come back, I'll push the crowdfunding out. Hopefully that'll do okay, but you never know.
Okay.
Do you have any links or anything you want to share?
Not yet, no.
Well, we need Bianca's social, right?
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, this would be the part where you can plug all of it. Tell people how they can find you, how they can find Bianca, how they can find your sanctuary,
anything.
how they can donate. I mean, well, besides going to your OnlyFans and tipping you.
Yeah, that...
in the interim, there you go.
Yeah, so I...
Use that tip button, people.
So for the sanctuary, I have a website. If you guys want to go check it out, it's comric.co. So COMRAICH.co. We're also on social media. It's just by the comric _. I'm Konzo. Hello, nice to meet you. And Bianca, her websites and her names are usually Bear with Bay. And she does a lot of body positivity stuff. She does a lot of great photography, and she is just a joy to interact with.
Now, how long? You said a couple of weeks. Well, is there a time frame where you're definitely staying away from social media, or do you just like whenever you start feeling better about being back on, you'll get back on?
When I start feeling better, I'm not going to put any time restraints on myself. Like I say, this is all in my control. So I'll check in. I'll see how it goes. But I just don't want to add more negativity than I need to. So,
amen.
Oh my God, this might be his only social media kind of presence in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're all I got.
I know. Like, wow, we're special.
You're like oh my God, what is it called when animals aren't around a long time?
A dinosaur.
Extinct.
Yeah. Like, no, a rare...
I've been gone for 2 days. What are you doing?
We got the wild Konzo.
But yeah, you can find him on all the socials as Konzo. So it's like Konzo0311 on Instagram, or
Yeah, it's just usually Konzo 03 or 0311. That's actually my old military thing. I was infantry, so 0311 is the infantry in the Marines.
Oh,
I'm surprised not more people Marines knew. I was like, I've not seen many military people call that out. That's cool. Did you enjoy being in the Marines? I did not. That's why I left.
Oh. And that's for another day.
Well, okay then. All right. So before we let you go, there's we need to do our quick fire because we do this with all of our guests here.
It's not trivia.
So we have 3 questions. Huh?
It's not trivia, is it? I suck at trivia.
No. It's kind of trivia. It's not really trivia,
It's
but
stuff all about you, and you
Yes.
know your story better than anyone.
Right.
Hopefully.
You look so nervous.
I know, he looks...
It's so
The
cute.
tone, his, like, total, like, body language changed.
He doesn't want to put on this. Okay.
We're going to ask you your social security number, bank
I
account,
forgot
routing
it.
information.
I've been out of the States for so long, I
all
forgot
of
what it is.
Good. You don't need it anyway.
All right. So, if you were a marble, I don't even know how to speak English anymore. If you were a Mortal Kombat character, what would your name be, and what would your fatality be?
Oh,
That's a tough one.
my name would be Dr. Fizz, and my fatality would be self-inflicted harm, probably, because I just can't fight. I'd punch myself in the face.
God. I thought that would have
But
been
by
dark.
self-inflicting, did then you also take them out, so you both go out?
No, it's just me.
right.
It's just
so
me, baby.
Whatever.
Oh, so it's not like in Super Smash Brothers where you are Donkey Kong and you pick him up on the back and then you go off the cliff.
It's more like when Psyduck
No.
uses confusion and then confuses himself. He's like, Psyduck, and punches himself in the face.
Oh, no.
I did Muay Thai for like 5 years. I'm better than I think I am. But at the same time, I'm just like, what am I doing?
Oh my God, that's.
Don't put me on the
What
spot.
would yours be? What would yours be, Joe?
My name?
Your name and your fatality.
Oh, God.
Do you want me to give me mine while?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine would be Twerkulator,
Oh, God, stop it.
and I would crush you between my clapping cheeks.
That's the way to go. That's the way to die.
Ooh, I don't know what my name would be, but I would annoy you so much that you would want to kill yourself.
Every day.
Oh. Call you Karen.
Because everyone's like, God, you're a lot.
You're not a
And
lot.
that's not just in the bedroom.
If somebody wants a fucking watered down version of you, take their ass to the ocean. Like, get fucked.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, my favorite thing is someone once told me, they're like, you're like a lot. And I was like, maybe you're not enough.
Hey! Bam, 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 bam.
Oh. All right. So, what are 3 things that you miss about the U.S. that you can't get in Scotland? And please don't say In-N-Out Burger.
No, of
I
course.
hope one of them is ranch.
One of them is ranch. I do love ranch. Another one's my family.
Yes!
And sometimes I miss that feeling of impending doom that you get from not knowing if you're going to break a leg and lose your job and then die in a capitalist society. It pushes you forward.
Okay. So family,
Ranch.
impending doom, and what was the third
Ranch,
one?
ranch. There's something about the U.S. that, like, living there, you're just like, oh, wait, I could be without a home in a month. Like, I could be done for. That you just don't feel outside the U.S.
So, like,
Yeah.
you're feeling safe. That's terrible.
I've been to the hospital 3 times this year. It didn't cost me a penny.
Ugh, don't
for
tell me
what?
that.
I got my heart checked out because I have chest pains a lot. I had a surgery on my foot. And also I just go to for medical checkups or whatever it is.
General wellness.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the old camera. Woo.
All right. So you mentioned Psyduck. So what Pokemon character best describes you?
Geodude, because he proves if your arms are big enough, you don't need legs.
Whoa. Okay.
Stop putting me on the spot. It's just
And-
weird answers, man. I can't stop.
And also you secretly levitate by walking without legs.
Yes.
Is that's probably the more reality of it.
Which one are you, Joe?
Pokemon? Oh god.
It's hard. Just go with the first answer. Just pop it out.
I'm Goldeen.
You're what?
Goldeen.
What's the
I'm not Goldeen.
What's the fish that flops? Oh, I'm Magikarp. I'm just like flopping around trying to make it work.
like I would be like Charmander's also annoying because he's just like Char.
You're like, what's your weakness? Weather? When it rains a little bit? God.
Oh my god, that episode when he almost got his flame extinguished was like the saddest episode, and I almost cried. Or in the Pokemon movie when Ash turns to stone and Pikachu's trying to electrocute him back to life, that was real sad. Oh god, we're going deep.
I really feel
Okay.
like these Pokemons have such great themes and messages, but the stupidest names like Magikarp, Magic Fish, Geodude, Rock Guy. Like, come on. Like, I don't know what Goldeen is. I'm sorry, it's been a while.
She's the fish too. Doesn't she turn into... Oh yeah, she's a sexy fish.
Ooh, golden.
All right. So thank you, Konzo, for being on our show. We really appreciate this. I know it's probably, especially because you're on a social media break, it was probably, we really appreciate you taking the time and doing this for us.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry it was
And he's
so
from the future.
So sorry that it took so long to like get a hold of me and stuff like that. I appreciate the patience with that.
Please, no, we love it. Like, thank God you're here.
The pleasure is ours.
And just know that we see you and see what you do and see what you're doing out there, because I really appreciated your whole TikTok about men and being lonely right now because women have higher expectations, but they should. So I just want to let you know that.
I could go on for a bit.
I saw that, and but we see you and everything that you do, and we think it's awesome.
And we support you.
And we support you, and everyone, all of our listeners should go out and support him and his charity and his OnlyFans and all that. So
I can't take compliments. Well, okay, goodbye. I love you. Goodbye.
All right, everyone. Well, have a great week. Thank you.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.
We want to take this time to thank our sponsor, Manscaped. And we want to remind you, don't forget, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TUGAYS. That's TUGAYS at manscaped.com.
Use that code now to unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.